Okay, so I've been seeing this thing for a while now happening inside of the anime community a lot, and it's not a lot of people talking about it, so I'm gonna talk about it. This isn't a video of me going after people. This is just something I noticed in the anime community and that a lot of people don't talk about enough. And so, I wanted to talk about it since I like old anime, and there's some people out there that like old anime too. I feel like the certain stuff that I tackle inside of the anime community, people like don't really focus on it, or they just don't want to say nothing about it, and it just often get overlooked. But I'm getting off topic. The hyping of old anime, okay, it has gotten out of hand, and this has been going on for years. This has been going on. It goes like back to, let me see. It goes like a couple of years back, probably back in 2021 or something. I can't even remember. But man, back in the day, I noticed that it was like new people entering the yuyu hakusho fandom at the last minute. It's not a bad thing, but it was because people was hyping the series up, and it was just becoming in a public eye again. It was a bunch of people just hyping the show up, and then every time they hype a show up, they attract people that don't really like the show, and those people just like indulge in the anime a little bit, make content for the series to fit in and act like they're special or something, or try to get attention from other people inside of that community without genuinely liking the series. Okay, so I'm gonna give you all the reasons why I think hyping of old anime is not genuine. Okay, I'm gonna give you a bunch of reasons. Okay, so these people like to hype older anime shows from the 90s mainly, and it's certain shows that I've been seeing a lot. Okay, so these people, they be making these anime lists and stuff, and it'd be like older anime you should watch, and then they list the same animes, the same older animes people are like familiar with, and they're heavily recognized, right? And the list includes those types of shows. They don't go genuinely into depth of older anime shows you should watch, because it's more older anime shows beyond Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Slayers. It's more shows beyond that. Way more. The same thing with 80s anime shows. It's more shows beyond it. They're not gonna list shows that people have not heard of, or it's not in public eye. They do that sometimes, and these people be making these lists, like these old anime lists, without being genuine about the whole subject. That's what gets on my nerves, really. As a person who likes older anime, I don't want to watch the same shows that I can already watch anytime I want, that's already in public eye. I want to watch something that I haven't watched before, that's obscure, and something that's not really talked about right now. Something I've never watched before that I can easily get a fresh experience of. I'm not saying those shows you can get a fresh experience of. I'm just saying that they, on the surface level, yes, they're old anime, but they're on the surface level. Anybody can watch those shows. I mean, you are experiencing older anime, but like, it's at the same time though, it's like, it's hard to break it down, but yes, by watching those shows you can experience old anime. But here's the thing, by experiencing fresh older anime from that time, I'm not saying they're not fresh, but something that's very just limited, you'll have a different perspective on older anime if you watch limited shows sometimes. And what I've been seeing a lot on Reddit that been getting on my nerves too is these people who just now started watching these shows. I ain't got nothing against them. They be kind of annoying due to the fact I've been seeing people saying Slamdunk is the greatest anime of all time. And what else they say? I can't even remember, but this all these people kept saying over and over, it's the greatest anime of all time. I'm like, why did it take, by them putting it on more like, I guess, Netflix and other stuff, and it's in public eye more for people to like openly praise the show more nowadays, you know? And it's crazy to me because Slamdunk was accessible back then, even though you had to find it, but it still was accessible. It wasn't that limited back then. Half of these shows they praising now was not even limited back then. They just didn't watch it because like it wasn't a bunch of people talking about it. And it's just, it just blows my mind that people who like anime don't even want to dig into the genre. They just want to wait until other people hype something up, and then like an anime get to the surface, and then they latch on to it just to get attention from the other people that's indulging in the series, so they can get noticed, or they can act like they're in the in crowd inside anime circles. That's how it is. It's crazy. But like, okay, so here's the thing. I've been seeing people talking about how iconic Cowboy Bebop is, and Trigun, and Yu Yu Hakusho, okay? But shows like Kinnikuman, City Hunter, and Slamdunk don't actively have that type of hype. And the crazy part about it is these shows actually like shaped anime, especially Slamdunk and Kinnikuman. They really shaped anime. Kinnikuman has a new anime on Netflix, and it's really getting attention from the Dragon Ball Shonen fans. You know, they like fights and stuff. They actively talk about Yu Yu Hakusho constantly, over and over, talking about the fights and stuff. These same people are radio silence, and they act like Kinnikuman doesn't even exist. And it's just wild to me, because without shows like Kinnikuman, the stuff in Dragon Ball wouldn't even exist. Toriyama liked it, the Kinnikuman story. He even got the creators' autographs, I believe. And it's just crazy to me. Same thing with the creator of City Hunter. Now the artist who worked on City Hunter also worked on Fist of North Star and Slamdunk too. And then what really made me mad about the City Hunter is the fact that JoJo fans, how do you mistake City Hunter art style for JoJo? Ryo doesn't even look like a JoJo character, and there's tons of manly anime styles out there. So these people, that's another thing I don't understand about anime fans. They watch one anime. They ain't even got no history outside of a certain type of anime they watch. So when a person only watches JoJo and haven't watched any more manly anime after that, or is not familiar with any more manly anime, that's what happens. JoJo is not the only show that had a manly anime style. There was so many of them back then, but a lot of people don't want to go and watch shows that nobody else is talking about. At times they want other people to tell them what to watch. I've been watching a bunch of manly anime shows. So if they think Ryo is a JoJo character, then they'll probably think the guy from the Fist of North Star is a JoJo character. You get what I'm saying? It's just like, it's shocking to me. It's crazy. And it's kind of like, it's kind of a slap in the face to the creator of City Hunter. I don't know about it. Okay, so another thing I've been noticing is whenever they hype up an older anime, it has to have a dub or some type of action. If the show doesn't have a dub, it doesn't have that much action, they're gonna ignore it. The reason why they hype Yu Yu Hakusho up is because it has all those fights. It has the Dark Tournament. It has the Spirit Detective Saga. And yeah, they focus heavily on fighting, just like Dragon Ball. That's why they latched on to this show. And my thing is, when I first watched Yu Yu Hakusho, I was not worrying about no fights or all that stuff. I was not worrying about that. I was mainly focused on the story. I even bought the manga when I got into like the anime. I got the manga as well. Read the crap out of that book. Enjoyed it. But like, people who only watch shonen, they don't give a crap about the stories or parts where Yusuke is not fighting. You know, it's a lot of interesting stuff that happens in Yu Yu Hakusho that they don't really pay attention to. Like when he, I want to talk about the manga, but I know a lot of you people haven't read the Yu Yu Hakusho manga. But there is a part where he helps a ghost girl cross over. He takes a ghost girl on a date because, like, I think she died, and then she couldn't make it to her date, and Yusuke took her on a date. And the story where he encouraged his friend to be tough or something, helped him to be tough. So I guess building esteem or something like that, self-esteem. And then like they changed some of the stories up in the anime, so they think by watching the anime that they complete the entire Yu Yu Hakusho story. That's not the case. You have to read the manga in order to know the full story, and plus half of the time they be changing stuff in the anime so you don't know the full story. But they don't care though. The only thing they care about is the fighting scenes and stuff, because that's how shonen fans work. They don't give a crap about the series unless it has fighting and unless everybody else is talking about it and it's becoming popular. Okay. When they be hyping these old animes, it attracts people that want attention. Okay. So half of the time, what I've seen happen with Yu Yu Hakusho, Trigun, and Cowboy Bebop, well, not as much as Cowboy Bebop, but the Trigun community got kind of hostile a little bit. And since Trigun Stampede came out, it's just a bunch of people, like the newer fans, acting like, I don't know, anytime you try to indulge in the freaking circle regarding Trigun nowadays, it just seems so different, and it just seems like a bunch of newer fans. And I remember this time, like, it's hard to explain, but I remember this time on TikTok I had made this thing on V-Ride, right? And then it was like a bunch of Trigun fans just coming to my profile. And it's just like, they were kind of hostile too. They were very hostile. And a couple of years ago, it's crazy because a couple of years ago when I was in this fandom, it was so quiet and we didn't have that much of loudness to the community. You know, it was just quiet. Now it just feels like it's just so loud and crowded, and everybody's kissing up to each other, basically. Really. And then they treat the remake like it's over the original series, and it's just plain sad, really. I mean, you can enjoy Trigun Stampede, but don't act like Trigun doesn't exist just because you like Trigun Stampede. I'm gonna talk about that in the next video, because I need to talk about Trigun Stampede. But yeah, these people, like what I've seen in the Yu Hakusho community, they've been making memes, and I've seen a meme where Yusuke in a jacket, and they've been spreading everywhere. That thing did not even exist when I had got into Yu Hakusho back in the day, and I'm glad it didn't. It's just a dumb meme. It's just talking about the styles, and I've been seeing a bunch of people who watch old anime talking about fashion and stuff, but like half of the time these people don't genuinely indulge in the genre, the old anime genre, like they claim they do. They just be talking about aesthetics all the time. They don't really indulge in older anime. It's just, oh, they talking about this thing in older anime, I should talk about it in, like, since a bunch of other people like it. A lot of people who indulge in anime aesthetics, they chasing trends most of the time. And that's what they did regarding Yu Hakusho. They made these memes and they made some fan art. Ain't nothing wrong with making fan art, but half the time these people, when they make fan art, they just want instant attention, because they know the people who came into the community through the hype will give it to them, and they will indulge in these memes and indulge in this fan art. And these people, half of the time, they're not even genuine. Some person, some big influencer, not a big influencer, somebody big in the anime circle told me to watch this show. Maybe if I watch this show and indulge in it, I would get more attention. Everybody else is doing it, I should join in too. Do I actually want to watch this show? Ask yourself that. Do I actually want to watch this show? Am I actually interested in this show? Y'all need to start asking yourselves these questions before y'all actually like tap into a series. Do I want to watch the show? Am I interested in this show? If you can't do that, then like, why waste your time watching this show just because everybody else tells you to? There's nothing wrong with getting into a new anime, but because the show has so much hype, I'm going to indulge in the show. And then most of the time y'all be disappointed when the show ain't good because y'all watch the series based on the hype. Stop chasing after these people and stop waiting for people to tell you what to watch. That's what anime is for. You're supposed to search through the genre. I don't know why people acting like they're scared to search through anime. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about these shows before the hype. Yu Hakusho. Okay, so back then in the Yu Hakusho community, when I had first joined, I had looked up shows like Dragon Ball, and Yu Hakusho popped up, and I had watched it on YouTube. I watched it in sub and dubbed. I eventually made some fan art for it, and then for the most part, like, the community was just not very active. Not a lot of fan fiction on the show, not a lot of fan art. Everything was scattered, I believe. It wasn't a lot of suggestive stuff. They had memes, but it wasn't like the Yusuke jacket man crap. It didn't have any of that. It was just like a semi-clean anime fandom. And then the crazy part I wanted to mention, years later, like this is very like crazy and surprising. So I seen a picture of Botan years ago on DeviantArt. It didn't have not one fave on it, and it was a suggestive picture, very suggestive. It didn't have not one fave on it. Years later, they got over 100 and something faves on that picture, that exact picture from many years ago. And it's just crazy to me. Like, ever since it gained public eye again, it been attracting all types of just sometimes good attention and sometimes bad attention. And it's crazy to me. It's not necessarily like bad if you like some suggestive work, but it should tell you something that if that took years to get faves, that should tell you something. Like, it didn't have no faves on its drawing whatsoever. So are these people even genuine enjoyers of the series, or they say, or their mindset is like, I recognize this character, I'm gonna fave this? It wasn't like that many years ago. And when I had contributed fan art to a Yu Hakusho group on DeviantArt, and people was surprised that I was making fan art for the series because the community was dead, wasn't very active. And people was reading my old fan fictions I made of Yu Hakusho years later because it was becoming mainstream again. The same thing with Trigun community. The community barely had any fan art on it. It didn't have no suggestive work, none whatsoever. It did, but it wasn't a lot. Now it has tons of it. It's just like, it's hard to come to terms with it because like I'm used to being inside of the community before that stuff hit the fandom, you know. I'm still inside anime fandoms that don't really have stuff like that, like a bunch of suggestive work. I'm still in communities like that, and I hope they remain like that, because anime communities can attract people for the wrong intentions sometimes. It's not necessarily a bad thing that people make suggestive work or people like suggestive work. I'm just saying though, sometimes they just attract these people from these other sections, or you know, from these other circles, and these people just latch on to the thing because it's popular, and then try to insert themselves in the community by making some certain work just to get attention and not actually liking the show. It's fair game once it's in public eye. So yeah, how these people be saying that these animes are so iconic and they the greatest of all time? Where was this energy at many years later when I joined the fandom? Like, when the hype died for these series, where was the hype at then? It's just crazy to me. It always been available to watch for years, and now all of a sudden it's just not becoming in public eye and popular with more people. And you guys could have been watching it back then as well. Same thing with Cowboy Bebop. You guys could have been watching this stuff back then as well, and I didn't care until somebody told y'all to care. It's crazy to me. It's manufactured hype. You can like the series if you genuinely like it, but these people, half of the time, they attract these anime fans. They watch something to be in the in crowd and bandwagon, and don't genuinely like these shows and indulge in these fandom spaces for attention. That's who y'all attracting. And the people who claim to be Yu Show fans nowadays, half of these people don't even know that Yusuke is inspired by Goku. Sagashi used influence from Dragon Ball when he made Yu Show, and Yusuke is inspired by Goku. The spirit gun is inspired by, I think, the Kamehameha. Like, he used a blue energy just like Goku, right? His demon form is inspired by the Super Saiyan form. The character Yusuke is inspired by Goku, like, literally. But you guys wouldn't even know that. You wouldn't know it if, like, you just watching the show for fights, and just because everybody else is watching the show, you watching it because hype, and that overrides well, that gets in the way of people actually, like, going outside of that and finding interesting information about Yu Show. They only talk about something that will give them attention, like how the creator is married to the creator of Sailor Moon. I mean, if you did research and you cared more about Sagashi's work, you will eventually find out about that. And everybody should know about that at this point. It shouldn't be new information. If you genuinely like Sagashi's work, you will know that. And another thing about these Yu Show Hunter x Hunter fans, if Sagashi is such a big writer, why one of his shows is still, like, forgotten and not in public eye? Level E. When I mentioned this show recently, somebody said, oh, well, was it really all that good? It wasn't really all that good to you because it probably doesn't have fights. I mean, it really wasn't all that good to you because it's not focusing on fights. His shows can be good regardless without fights. The same stuff that you're used to seeing all the time. The same thing with Toriyama. He's not going to always rely on fights all the time. Dr. Slump is literally a gag manga, and he was successful with Dr. Slump. But if you Dragon Ball fans only care about his fighting stuff. His other works are good too, but they only care about one series, and it's Dragon Ball. They don't care about none of his other series. And I find it crazy about them too, because the only time they gave a crap about Dr. Slump is when it's connected to Dragon Ball, when they got, like, some type of attention through Dragon Ball. Before that, they didn't even give a crap about Aurelie or Dr. Slump as a whole. Dragon Ball fans latch on to stuff when something is connected to Dragon Ball. Why these people, like, they try to be quirky by taking, like, names from Dr. Slump, and so they be trying to be quirky and stuff, acting like they like the series. Back in the day, before people was latching on to Dr. Slump, I had watched the series, like, in plenty of episodes on YouTube before this series was in public eye. Dragon Ball fans did not give a crap about no Dr. Slump back then, and the reason why they do now is because it's connected to Dragon Ball. That's how the anime community works. And a lot of people are not gonna, go out of their way to say anything about it. And I don't know why. So I feel like I should say something about it, since nobody else will. And like I said, I like these shows that I'm talking about in this video. And I really like Yu Show. I remember back in high school, I had an obsession with Yu Yu Hakusho. I was going out to buy the manga. I was actively searching for it every chance I got. My, family was taking me out to go find some Yu Yu Hakusho mangas. I eventually got the Dark Tournament game, but I genuinely liked the series. And I hate to see what the fandom is now. It's not bad, but it's getting out of control. And it's very annoying to see videos that only talk about the fighting side of Yu Yu Hakusho. There's more to Yu Yu Hakusho than the fighting side of it. If you read the manga, you will know. Just because you watch the anime don't mean you know the full story of the series. And I was in the Yu Yu Hakusho Reddit. I used to share like pages from my manga because I thought the art was beautiful. Half of the time, most of these people, years later, many years later, till now, they still say that they have to read the manga. You had plenty of years to read the manga and you didn't bother reading the manga after you finished the anime. The anime is not the complete story of the series. That's their mindset. I'm done with the series because I watched the anime. There's plenty of animes that I've watched that I want to go and read the manga. I read after I finish the series, I do want to read their mangas. Until now, since I switched over so bad, the only reason why I haven't finished the Yu Yu Hakusho manga is I want to physically own the books. I don't want to pirate them. Same thing, like I have Ranma 1/2 and I want to finish it by like buying the books. I got the Space Dandy mangas to the complete series. I got Trigun, a few Trigun mangas. Yeah, but like I do support the creators, and when I get into a series, I do want to read the book too because it's just as interesting as the animes. The Yu Yu Hakusho book has so much, emotion and depth, and it's a great story. Half the time they give you interesting facts about the characters in the book, but y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't read the manga. It even tells stuff about Togashi, like his council. I think, what was it, a sold out doujinshi he made, and people drawing art for him for the celebration of Yu Yu Hakusho. Like they was congratulating him on his manga Yu Yu Hakusho in the manga, and then they said something about Botan's age being unknown in the manga, but a lot of people wouldn't know that because you don't read the manga. And like you guys don't have love genuinely for the series, right? So my problem with people hyping old anime is it doesn't seem like genuine. The love for the series that they supposedly hyping doesn't feel genuine. It just feels like it's manufactured, and it attracts people who don't genuinely want to watch the anime. They want to be in the in crowd, want attention. That's who you guys are attracting, right? And so if these anime shows are so iconic and so like peak, as they say, why shows that literally shaped anime are still underrated? Even if they don't have a dub, they still should be in public eye. Like, as I said before, Kinnikuman is an icon in Japan. Yet in the West, the only thing they talk about is Ultimate Muscle. It's not a bad thing, but that's the only thing they got dubbed. And you know, these people over here, they'll run to anything that has a dub, or if it has like fighting or something. You know, Slamdunk had a dub too, but like, I think the only thing that is mainly available is sub, but Slamdunk does have a dub. You have to go find it, but yeah, that's accessible. And City Hunter is very accessible. I don't know why I don't want to touch it. And the crazy part about it is, Ryo was in Jump Force. These people are playing the character. There's cutscenes of Ryo. They don't know who the character is. You guys don't know who the character is, and you guys are playing them. That is wild to me. Any anime fan who likes older anime should know Ryo Saiba. If you genuinely like older 80s anime, you should know who Ryo Saiba is. Man, that is crazy. But yeah, I don't buy this stuff. I don't buy the hype for these shows. I really don't. Coming from a person that was in these communities before they gained more attraction, these communities were very clean, and people were just excited to see that I was making fan art for some of these series. Man, it is a crazy time. If you love these shows, genuinely, go read the manga. Please go read the manga. Stop indulging in like bandwagon attention seeking behavior in these communities, because it's not genuine. Please. And stop only focusing on the fights and Yu Yu Hakusho. The story is more complex than just the fights. Stop just focusing on the fights. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about this. That's all I gotta say about this old anime hype stuff that the anime community does. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video.